Welcome back to Spirit Speaks, Rebecca and
Burnett.
Okay, we're glad to have you. And for those of you who might be joining us for the first time, we are Spirit Speaks and we channel voices and messages from the other side of life. So, I am the interviewer and Burnett.
I channel.
Is the channeler. Okay.
Yes.
So we have something interesting today.
Yeah, so this, if you all follow or have seen our other videos, I recorded my 6-year-old son who just started talking about his impression and his experience with spirit. And this is a second such recording that we'll play for you and then discuss with my 6-year-old. And
so now I don't know if he's channeling as well, but it may be channeled.
I don't know.
We don't know.
Or just, information coming to you is a form of channeling, and that kind of automatic knowing or an understanding of something. A lot of us don't realize that we are channeling.
When we do. We don't call it channeling. We just, I got this message, or
the muse,
this just came to me.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. So don't sleep on yourself. So I'm going to play it, and we'll listen to it together.
Stick with us now.
And then we'll
talk about
it just a little bit.
And I have not heard it either. So.
And I haven't listened to it since I recorded it that day, so we'll see what comes out.
Yeah.
Out of the mouths of babes. Okay. And I'm driving.
Close your eyes when you're seeing spirits. And when you're seeing spirits, you have to be very, very kind to them.
Like how?
Like being very nice. Because the spirits can touch you, but you can't touch them. But when they touch you, you don't feel it. So,
you personally don't feel it when they touch you?
No.
How do you know that they're touching you?
Because you can see them touching you.
So, when Tango tried to touch you,
He was raising me.
When his spirit tried to touch you,
He didn't try to
says he
touch
can't hurt you. Remember you told me that?
He can't hurt you? Yeah. That's because you can't feel it.
Oh. But even though they're touching you, you can't feel them.
No, you can't. But your phone's black.
That's fine.
And you don't feel it. You're supposed to look at the spirits in the eyes, and that's how you make them stop touching you. It's kind of funny. When the spirits touch you, you look them in the eyes so they stop touching you.
Is that like a warning? Why do you look them in the eyes?
If you don't like them touching you, you just tell them to stop.
Okay.
Even a bite wouldn't hurt. Even a bite or a scratch.
Because you can't feel them.
Yeah, and their spirits. But real Tango could actually bite or scratch.
Yes.
Not the spirit.
So not the spirit Tango.
So how do you know about other spirits trying to touch or scratch or bite you? Other spirits have done that?
Oh, yeah. Even when your eyes aren't closed, you can still... Wait, when your eyes are closed, you can't feel it. But when your eyes are closed, you can't feel them. And when your eyes are closed, you can feel them.
So if your eyes are closed, you can feel them.
No, can't.
You cannot if your eyes are closed.
And if your eyes are open, you can feel them, even though you can't see them.
So you see them when your eyes are closed.
Yes, only when your eyes are closed, that's when you can see them. And when your eyes are open, that's only when you can feel them.
It changes the senses for you. There's some people who see and feel differently than you do. Everybody is different. But for you, you see them when your eyes are closed, and you feel them when your eyes are open.
Yes, yes. That is correct.
How long have you been able to see them and feel them?
Well, at least 2 years.
Since you came back to this house?
Came back.
You don't remember when we moved back to where we are now?
Oh, yeah. I can see them.
Do you remember being able to see them when we lived in Decatur?
Oh, that was the same year. I think that was the same day.
You may not remember that.
Actually, yeah, I could see some, but all I saw when you're little, you can see spirits far away, like in Canada. Because of the language when you're a baby, you can see further, like everywhere.
Because of the language? What do you
Yes.
mean?
Like the language. Babies know every language when they're little.
You believe that?
Yes.
So you
But whatever language they know, I think they can see in that place. Whatever language they know.
that would be interesting.
I really don't know what. Maybe it's baby town or something? I don't know.
Baby tone?
I really don't know. Because I'm not a baby.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
So, what else do you want me to tell you?
Let me think for a second. So, you were talking about being able to. I'd like to ask you about how you're learning. You said you were learning from the spirits talking to you.
Yes.
Or teaching you, right?
Yes.
When did they do this?
Every time I close my eyes,
Oh, that's like every day. When you go to sleep at night.
when I close my eyes, that's when I start seeing bad spirits and good spirits. But mostly good ones.
And do your good ones help you with the bad ones?
No, because they can't touch the bad ones. They're good spirits, so they can't touch. They just walk right through. But I can touch the bad spirits.
And drive them out?
Yeah, but the only thing that'll work is the spirit net. Spirit net. Net of all the spirits.
All the bad spirits?
Yeah, but I told you that spirits could touch other spirits, right?
Yeah.
Only human and alive thing spirits.
Wait. Only human and alive thing spirits can touch.
Not touch.
I need to understand this one. I need to understand this better.
Only alive spirits that come from alive things cannot touch other spirits.
Oh, so if both spirits are not from a live thing, they can touch each other.
Yes.
So like your
So my spirit and your spirit could not touch each other.
okay, but like your angels could touch the bad spirits.
No, the angels aren't alive. The angels are alive.
So who are the spirits that aren't alive?
Like princes, men, other spirits.
So, like, a tree can touch the spirit of another tree.
Isn't that tree alive?
Basically. So, okay, so the car has a spirit.
Yes.
So that consciousness, that spirit in the car can touch the spirit of another car.
Or anything else's spirit.
Or anything else's spirit. Okay, so we are running out of time again, and I am so curious because this is so interesting. What? Alright, we'll continue this later.
Well,
What? There was a lot in that.
there was a lot in that.
Yeah. The end part was fascinating, though. And we are dealing with a 6-year-old, so him trying to explain things isn't always as clear as it might be if you're talking to an adult. But what he was trying to say made sense. We ran out of time because we had to go to school. But the consciousness of basically inanimate objects.
Everything has consciousness.
Mhm.
Everything has energy.
Yeah.
And spirit is energy.
Right.
So, yeah.
So
it does.
this banner
There's energy there.
has energy, and
Everything has energy. No matter what it is, it has
Right.
energy.
so I thought that was interesting, and the ability for spirits to interact and actually touch. I think I would love to.
That's actually above my level. That's beyond me.
I see.
I am not familiar with the spirits touching thing. I don't have
Yeah.
that understanding.
I
That's new for me.
that was kind of new because. But on one level, I thought about where things vibrate. And at least on the side where he said the good spirits and the bad spirits don't actually touch. So, well, maybe if they're vibrating at different levels,
Yeah, they wouldn't.
they're existing in different
hmm
planes and
They wouldn't touch.
they wouldn't actually touch.
Sure.
But he is able to interact with both, almost as the bridge.
That's very interesting.
And I think that goes into some of the work that we've been doing with Spirit Release, serving as the bridge.
Bridge. Yes.
And it's interesting, he said you get rid of them, you need a net, and I don't think I've ever talked to him about the net.
Yeah, I was wondering, how did he know that?
How did he do this? You need a spirit net. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I thought it
And
was
many
interesting.
light workers use a spirit net.
Yes. To gather them up and
To contain
yeah.
them. Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting too.
For me, the most interesting part is the baby talk.
The baby that they know all the languages.
That they know all the languages. Because you know what? The question was just in my mind last week. How do babies learn the languages that they learn? You know, when they're born into this culture, they're speaking this, to me it sounds like gibberish. But they can understand it. How do you learn that from your parents?
Like that they're talking to other babies and they understand each other?
No. Baby born into a Chinese family. How do they understand Chinese? How does one how did you understand English? How did you know the language to understand it?
There is a process of language learning.
Is there really?
That taps. Well, there's also a physical. There also may be a spiritual. That you come in with the programming for everything.
Well, did you just hear what he said?
That they know all the languages?
That they know all the languages.
Mm-hmm.
When they come in, they know he said they know all the languages.
I guess it's depending on where they go. But you know what? That might be why they say teach kids a foreign language when they're young. You know, that they should start learning other languages. If you want them to have other languages, teach them when they're young.
And there are children that are born into families that speak multiple languages because they hear multiple languages. So they hear the language. Just because I hear a language doesn't mean I understand a language. Because I can hear Chinese all day and I have no clue what is being said. And so
I think those synapses were not.
I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm around my daughter-in-law who speaks Spanish fluently. When she's speaking Spanish, I have no clue. I don't know what she's saying. So how do babies and children pick that up
so easily
and understand it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you understand it?
Because if you come in with everything,
if everybody comes in knowing all the languages, because think about it, you just come from the spirit realm, because babies are coming from the spirit realm. We don't know what languages being spoken up there. We just know when we speak, they understand us. So if they understand English,
they probably understand all the languages.
They understand all the languages up there. And they can speak all the languages up there. So it only makes sense that if you just came from there, you would be familiar with all the languages.
True.
Because you could have gone anywhere.
And wherever you landed, that's the language you hone, and you continue. And the others you don't need.
Right. You just let those go back. It makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then he said he could see to Canada. You know.
I thought that was kind of.
So he could see. How far can you see? Babies can see far.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that what he was saying is that this is what I've heard. That when you're a baby, when you first come in, when baby's sleeping, that their spirits are traveling. They're not always in their bodies.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
So if this is true, I could see how they could be traveling and going places and
seeing
and understanding
all the way to Canada. He is 6, so
yeah, he is 6, but he knows a lot. He's very smart.
Oh,
very interesting.
Yeah. So we'll post this and love to know what your comments are and what other revelations you may have from this video, and go back and see the first time we started talking about spirits, and let us know what you think of that video.
Yeah.
And what your experiences might be as well. That was
interesting.
Yeah.
That was it. He's amazing.
I'll have to go back and ask him more about the last part where we ran out of time.
I would love to interview him if his mother would let me.
From behind the screen, since I'm protective.
I would love to interview him.
Yeah, he could sit over there on the sofa, and you'll hear his voice maybe.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Okay.
So we thank you for joining us and for sticking with us, and we will see you next time.
Thanks
for joining Spirit Speaks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.